to southern and eastern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Police in Frankfort are on the hunt for a murder suspect they say is likely armed and dangerous. Jeremy Tom spoke with police about the incident.
Frankfort police say they're searching for a man named Simeon Johnson. They say he is the prime suspect in connection to a deadly shooting at an apartment complex late Sunday night.
Our dispatch center received a call about 11:30 last night of a shots fired at Hickory Hills Apartments on Marlowe Court.
Assistant Chief Lynn Aubrey says when officers arrived and entered apartment 61 at the complex, they found 50-year-old Thomas Weidman shot and killed. Aubrey could not say what led up to a trigger being pulled, but she says witnesses saw Johnson leaving the apartment with a handgun. Aubrey described the wanted man.
He's a black male, about 5'10", black hair, brown eyes. He was last seen wearing a pink polo with a blue logo on it, black shorts.
The assistant chief says these two did know of each other, so it wasn't a random encounter, but they are still considering Johnson to be armed and dangerous.
We put all our resources right now into locating Mr. Johnson. We expect to have a warrant for homicide very quickly. He does already have 2 outstanding warrants on other issues.
Aubrey asks for anyone that may have information to reach out to their department, and she says because Johnson is considered dangerous, if you see him, do not approach him, but do call 911 to report his whereabouts. In Frankfort, Jeremy Toms, WKYT.
One person is dead after an officer-involved shooting in northern Kentucky. It happened yesterday on Glenway Avenue in Covington. Police say the responding officer got into a violent struggle with the suspect. One witness says the man tackled the officer and reached for his gun. The officer then shot him. He later died at the hospital. The officer had minor injuries. He's been placed on administrative leave while state police investigate. The Bowling Green Police Department says the officer who was shot late last week at a car mart is still being treated for his injuries. After the shooting, Matt Davis was rushed into surgery and was listed in critical but stable condition. Kentucky State Police say the Warren County coroner pronounced a man dead at the medical center in Bowling Green. It's unclear who the man was and exactly how he died. Authorities have still released very little information about the incident. A birthday for an Illinois woman turns tragic when her grandson is shot during the party. Authorities in Franklin Park say a 9-year-old Ulysses Campos was playing with other kids when someone fired at least 4 shots from inside a passing vehicle. Campos was taken to a local hospital but later died of a gunshot injury to the chest. No one else was struck in the incident. Police say they later found the suspect's vehicle and have a person of interest in custody. Disgraced sports doctor Larry Nassar was reportedly stabbed multiple times in a federal prison in Florida. Nassar was convicted of sexually abusing gymnasts. The Associated Press reports the attack happened yesterday. Nassar is reportedly in stable condition. He is serving decades in prison for state and federal convictions. He admitted to sexually assaulting athletes when he worked at Michigan State and for USA Gymnastics. The family of a Memphis man reportedly shot and killed by a sheriff's deputy wants the body camera video of the incident released. The family of 21-year-old Jarvian Hudspeth called for the footage during a news conference today. On June 24th, Shelby County deputies say Hudspeth and a deputy got into a fight. Hudspeth reportedly drove away, dragging the deputy about 100 yards. The deputy then reportedly shot Hudspeth. Hudspeth later died.
Beautiful day out there today. Plenty of sunshine, just fair weather clouds and temperatures. Make anybody happy. Low 80s out there this afternoon, even upper 70s in much of the region. That was the view from Hazard. Here's the view from London Corbin Airport, where things remain rather nice outside. Plenty of blue sky and just fair weather clouds out there. excuse me, everybody within a degree or two of about 80 right now. Harlan and Manchester, the warm spots in our region at 83. It's 85 up in Lexington, 86 up in Louisville. So we continue to see even a few upper 70s, low 70s. Look at Wise there into Southwest Virginia. Dew points are helping us. Low to mid 50s means we don't have a ton of moisture at the surface, so it's warm, but it's not humid. That continues through the evening. Next 12 hours, look at how quickly, with the dry air, we drop those temperatures from 78 at 8 to 68 at 11 to 62 by 5 o'clock. And I think we're clear overnight as well. Steve, I'll have the details on when perhaps some warmer air and maybe even some showers and storms will try to return to the forecast in a few minutes.
All right, Evan, thank you. President Biden spent the day in London, England, meeting with King Charles and British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, but that was a little more than a layover on his way to Lithuania, where NATO partners are meeting for their annual summit. CBS's Skylar Henry is at the White House with more on what the alliance is doing to help Ukraine.
President Biden arrived in Vilnius, Lithuania, for the start of a NATO summit.
Great to see you.
Ukraine is seeking full membership in the military alliance and has broad support from most of NATO's member countries.
No final decision has been made, but at the summit I'm absolutely certain that we'll have a unity and a strong message on Ukraine.
President Biden has said the war between Ukraine and Russia needs to end before Ukraine is ready for NATO membership. Otherwise, the U.S. and other countries could be compelled to join the war. President Biden also discussed Ukraine in London Monday with British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak.
Our relationship is rock solid. People in the United States, Great Britain, and I look forward to our discussions.
One area where the two allies disagree, the use of cluster bombs. President Biden has authorized the shipment of cluster bombs to Ukraine to help in its counteroffensive. Prime Minister Sunak told Biden that Britain will stand by its treaty, which bans the munitions. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
NATO announced Turkey had agreed to accept Sweden into the NATO alliance. They had been blocking membership for months. Sweden and the other new member, Finland, extends NATO's border with Russia by more than 900 miles. The state lawmaker who represents Uvalde, Texas, is vying for Senator Ted Cruz's seat. Roland Gutierrez is using a video on Twitter to make the announcement. He's an advocate for gun safety, and in his first campaign message, he referenced last year's Robb Elementary shooting, where a gunman killed 19 elementary school students and 2 teachers. Gutierrez accuses Texas Republicans of neglecting safety systems. A retired Army veteran who was severely burned by a roadside bomb explosion in Afghanistan is stepping into the political arena. Captain Sam Brown announced he is entering the Nevada Republican primary. He's running for a seat currently held by Democratic Senator Jackie Rosen, who unseated Republican Dean Heller in 2018. Brown first emerged on the Nevada political scene in 2022 with the slogan "Duty First," but came in second in the GOP primary. Actor Hill Harper plans to run for U.S. Senate in Michigan. Harper is best known for his role on ABC's The Good Doctor and for hosting HLN's original primetime series, How It Really Happened. Harper announced he wants to fill retiring Democratic Senator Debbie Stabenow's seat. He is running as a Democrat and will join a primary field that includes Michigan Congresswoman Alyssa Slotkin. Slotkin announced her candidacy in February and is seen as a top contender. It appears actor Jamie Foxx is on the mend. In video published by TMZ, Foxx was seen boating on the Chicago River yesterday afternoon. He's shown smiling and waving to a group of fellow boaters as they cheer. Until yesterday, Foxx had not been spotted publicly since April, when he experienced what his daughter called a medical complication while filming in Atlanta. No other details have been provided since. Lawmakers are raising the alarm over a popular energy drink. It has 6 times the caffeine of a can of Coke and poses a health risk to children and teenagers. CNN's Gloria Pazmino reports.
It's one of the hottest trends of the summer. Now, the influencer-created energy drink Prime is facing growing scrutiny.
This is an eye-popping level of caffeine for a young kid's body.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is calling on the U.S. Food and Drug Administration to investigate the product. Prime energy drinks contain more than double the caffeine of a can of Red Bull and 6 times more caffeine than a can of Coca-Cola.
The amount of caffeine in these drinks can give children and teens headaches. It can give them jitters, nervousness. It can interfere with the sleep cycle, which is so important to the developing brain.
According to its website, the company does not recommend the energy drinks for anyone under the age of 18. Still, Schumer claims the company is targeting children through social media.
Kids see it on their phones as they scroll, and then they actually have a need for it.
The company also sells a caffeine-free drink called Prime Hydration, but there are concerns the branding between the two products are too similar.
Because the product is billed as a hydration and sports drink in its other near identical form, kids are likely to ingest cans of this stuff with the parents being unaware.
I'm Gloria Pasmino reporting.
Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, a recent survey